Your customer invoices are used to send requests for payment to your customers. Here in our job budget, when we're looking at the full overview, you'll see that we can scroll past the estimating portion as well as the job costing portion to then see all of your invoicing columns. And these columns can be turned on and off when you click on this gear icon here to customize exactly which invoicing columns you'd like to see. They're all listed in purple. Now here we'll see our approved price for the customer, and then we have invoiced nothing on this job quite yet, and therefore we've collected no payments. So let's go ahead and create an invoice. I'm going to click plus document, and here I'll choose my customer invoice template. Now you can set up as many templates as you need to in your JobTread settings, but here we're going to use my deposit template. Now I can select which items from my budget I'd like to invoice, or I can just invoice off the top. So here I'll just put 15% across the top, or I can say I just want to invoice $4,000, or maybe I want to select just certain phases of the project. So I just want to invoice for pre-construction and demolition, or maybe even just 50% of those for now. So you can get pretty granular in how you want to invoice here from your budget. Now, if you're a cost plus builder, you're most likely going to be passing along all of your bills in time to the customer. So therefore, you're going to click on bills in time, and then you're going to choose which bills from JobTread you would like to pass along, and then which time from the logged time entries you'd like to pass along as well. So then you can select each of them. You could also use these filters across the top to search for your bills in time to pass on. Once you select them and click create, then all of those bills in time will be included on your invoice that you can send off to your customer. Let's go ahead and do a fixed price job here with items, and then I would just like to take my 15% off the top. Now I'm going to click create. Now at this point, I have several options. Of course, I can click to edit anything on this document, but I probably don't need this much detail on this particular document because it's just an invoice. So in this case, I can hide the sub items if I want to, or I can use these quick options over invisibility options to click just top level. Now also, I have the approved price versus what is already invoiced and what this invoice is for. That was turned on by clicking on this little percentage icon. That shows my customer their progress. Now I can also put a subject in here that will accompany the name of the document. So I will just say initial deposit. Great. And then I also have some options here. So if you're a cost plus builder, you're going to choose to turn on show cost and fee. That will show the total cost of the project separate from your profits. Or if you're fixed price, you're probably going to leave that off. Then also, if you are using one of JobTread's payment processors, which you can set up in JobTread settings in the integrations tab, then it will allow you to choose whether or not you'd like to accept ACH bank transfer and or credit and debit card for this particular invoice. You also will have the option to allow partial payments from the customer where they can make multiple payments against the total on this invoice. You can also turn on show financing, and then your customers can apply for financing directly through Acorn Finance, one of our partners. And that is strictly between your customer and the lender. You really have nothing to do with that. No paperwork for you, no cost for you. So why not show it to give your customer some confidence in paying their invoice? All right, then when you're ready, you're gonna go ahead and save it, and then you can choose one of the action buttons on the top. So I'm going to send this off to my customer. And I'll choose Melissa Bill here, and I do not need a signature from them. I just want to get paid, so we'll leave that off, and now I can have an email message and click send. Now an email was sent to your customer, and once they click the button in the email, it will open up this document for them, and they can go ahead and choose their payment method. So they can pay by card, Google Pay, their bank account, ACH bank transfer. I will mention if they do choose to use their ACH bank transfer, then they will need to create a login password for JobTread as an added layer of protection, and then they'll use that login whenever accessing JobTread in the future. All right, let's say that this customer though, they came into your office and they paid you by check. So you also have the option to manually record a payment here. This customer in particular, I have lots of credit with, but let's just go ahead and add a new payment. We can then say this was paid by check, and I'll say paid in full. Great. We'll go ahead and click Save. Perfect. That is now a paid invoice. Let's go back to our budget and scroll to the right, and you'll see in the invoicing section, we have sent the invoice, and then we've collected the total amount, and it shows us the remaining amount that's left to be invoiced. Let's go ahead and do an additional invoice. So I'm going to click plus document, choose our invoice template, and now I'm going to choose how much I would like to invoice. So there's 85% left of the total project to be invoiced. So I'm just going to say, I'll just invoice 20% of the total project with this one. Click that create button, and now we have the invoice. Again, I'm going to choose to just show top level. I'll turn on my progress amounts here, and then also I can choose my options to the right. Now, many of these settings can be pre-selected in your document template, so you don't have to select them for every single document you create. All right, let's allow partial payments on this one as well, and let's add our subject. So here it will be second draw. Great. And then we will send it off. All right. Now let's say that the customer is doing multiple payments against the total. You could always record the payment, and we can backdate this one saying that they paid on Tuesday here, and I'm going to say that they paid by check, and I'll say first payment. Okay, and maybe they paid us $2,000. All right, we'll click Save. And now it's still marked as an open invoice, but there is a payment made against the total with the remaining balance. So we can record an additional payment, and maybe they then paid us in full with this one. Final payment. All right, and then we'll click Save. And now you'll see there are 2 payments made against this total invoice, and now it's fully marked as paid. Of course, all of your invoices can be tracked in the Documents tab. You can also click on the Payment section of the Documents tab to see all of your incoming payments and your outgoing payments in one place. And then if you are using QuickBooks Online, there are direct links to your QuickBooks payments as well. If you have any questions, please contact your customer success manager or email support@jobtread.com. Thank you.